Hey everyone, this is Ilda from I Love Doing All Things Crafty, and welcome to the Got Joy Creation Holiday Series for 2019. I'm super excited to be here today to help Dana celebrate by sharing a fun tutorial with you today. Stick around and we'll talk more about the series and giveaways that are happening. For my tutorial today, I want to share with you a super easy way to create a shaker card without using any frame or foam. I've had this idea for the longest time and I'm finally able to share with you all and to show you how easy it does come together. So here are the cards I will be making with you today, and as you will see, the process is actually quite simple. Like I said, these cards are frameless, which means you do not need a die to create a frame, just a card front. Also, as you can see, they are pretty flat, which makes them perfect for mailing, as there is no extra foam. And even without the space that the foam creates when you use a frame, you still get lots of movement creating a shaker this way. For my cards today, I use products from Studio Katya. Some of them are older and some of them are newer. I will have links to all the products I used in the video description below. Here are the sequins and embellishments I used. The stamps I used come from their latest release called the Happy Snowman stamp set and their coordinating dies. I also used the confetti stencil to add some sparkle to the background, which is from an older release of theirs. So let's get started on how to make these fun shakers. I began by stamping out the images using a MISTI tool onto some Neenah 110-pound solar white cardstock. I used blackout ink from Ink on 3, which is a Copic-friendly ink that dries really fast. Since I'm making multiple cards, I'm going to show you how I set up my MISTI to do some repeat stamping and die cutting. You want to make sure that you leave enough space in between your elements so that the dies can be lined in place and die cut all at once. Once you pop out all of the die cut pieces, you can just use that negative die cut piece, leaving the dies taped in place, and use it again by lining everything up again with the stamped images on the next stamp panel. This is a great idea if you want to make multiple cards at once using the same die cut images. I'm not going to show you how I colored each of the snowmen, but I will show you how I colored one of them, using pretty much the same techniques for the rest of them. I want to show you how to create a glow using a few colors to make it look like there's glare from the snow. So here I took a blue marker on the outer edge of the snowman, and now I'm just going to use a pink marker to go over the same outline, overlapping the ink ever so slightly to give it a purple hue. Once I'm done with the light pink layer, I'm just going to use my colorless ink blender and blend out into the white. I found this was a super easy way to color snow without a lot of work. I love simple coloring when it comes to Copics. I kept this part of the video really slow so you could watch how I colored the images. I'll let you watch now while you listen to some music, and I'll be right back, or you can skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen now. Now that my pieces are colored, I'm going to show you how I glue them together to make it look like it's uniform with the outer shadow layer. Using scissors, I'm going to snip off the area where the pieces overlap so that the image looks like it's connected in the end. Next, I'm going to show you how I glued the elements underneath the image and how I made it look like they were stamped that way. To do this, you're going to need a fine tip pen, and then all you're going to do is draw in the lines that you are covering up underneath. This will eliminate masking and any fussy cutting you may have to do. So here is a closer look at the finished snowman holding some ornaments. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I created my glittery backgrounds for my panels. I have 2 panels cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm using the confetti stencil and taping it in place to apply my glitter paste. If you've ever used glitter paste, you know that this stuff dries pretty quickly and it makes it super difficult to come off of your stencil. So I'm going to show you how I wipe my stencil between, preventing any glitter from drying on it, making it easy so that I can use it over and over again without having to take it to sink first. All I do is rub a baby wipe over the entire stencil before removing the card panel from underneath. As you can see, it doesn't mess up any of the glitter on the paper, but it wipes off any of the excess glitter left on top of the stencil. When I'm wiping, I'm also using a really light hand and trying not to push too hard into the paper. I also repeated the same process for the other panel. So now let me show you what you're going to need to create a frameless shaker card. Here I have a page protector. I would recommend a higher quality plastic sheet, probably not the ones you buy for the kids' school supplies. I found this in my husband's office and they're fairly sturdy, so you may have to experiment with what you have. So now I've sliced the end off the page protector and I'm going to cut it in half again, leaving about 1/2 inch around the entire card panel. So from one page protector, you can create 4 plastic sleeves for your frameless shakers. So here's my favorite part, the assembly. I have both of my glittery card panels, and remember, this can be as plain or as decorated as you like, or it could just be a patterned piece of paper. To help prevent some of the static that you get when working with plastic, I'm just lightly dusting the plastic and my surface area with an anti-static powder tool. So the next thing I'm going to do is just add some really strong adhesive tape to the back of my card panel. To create the perfect size for this card panel, I'm placing the finished side down over the plastic. And then I'm going to pick it up, and once I have the card panel centered with the plastic, I'm going to hold them both together and carefully cut out the corner pieces. This will make it the exact size I need to create a shaker pocket for this panel. You can see how easily you could do this for any other size panels. Here I am sprinkling my sequins and shaker bits onto the plastic and spreading them out so I know if I have enough onto the plastic sleeve. And then I'm just going to flip the panel finish side down and align the corners of the card panel so that they touch the edges of the plastic. To seal up the shaker pocket, I will start by removing one of the pieces of tape and then flip up the plastic flap and use my finger to drag it along the tape to secure it in place. I then will seal the opposite side. By doing it this way, you pull the plastic underneath tightly so that it's not left loosely on the underside. You could probably get away with adding your shaker bits at this point, but I felt that if I did that, the plastic may be too tight and not allow for enough movement of the shaker pieces. By doing it this way, it accounted for a little bit of extra space or just enough for them to move around. Off screen, I've glued one of the shaker pockets to the card base, so I'm just going to show you how I did that here. Using the same strong adhesive tape, I just added it along the edges and down the center of the card base. Now I will just stand both pieces up and use my hands to line them up and glue the pieces together. So now I'll show you how I assembled the cards. Off screen, I stamped out and heat embossed using white embossing powder to heat set my sentiments onto black cardstock, and then I just trimmed them up. I added some foam tape behind each of the snowmen to pop them up in the center of my card panel, and then I also just glued the sentiments in place by using some adhesive tape. Here I have some liquid pixie dust that I have added to a water brush, and I'm just going to use it to add some sparkle and shine to the bodies of the snowmen. I like to start the flow of my pen onto a scrap piece of paper, as sometimes I squeeze too hard and get a big glob of glitter. You can avoid this by using a paintbrush and adding some liquid pixie dust to a slick surface and then just painting it on. Here I'm using a Copic marker to add some color to their cheeks. Because I've already added the liquid pixie dust to the paper, I'm just going to make sure I rub off any of the glitter that's left on the marker once I'm done my coloring. So now while you watch me add the final details to the cards, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about Dana's Got Joy Creation holiday series. Make sure you're subscribed to her channel to catch all that she shares this holiday season, which include all her guest designers. This series runs from November 17th to December 14th. There will be tons of giveaways, tutorials, and discount codes from sponsors, so it'll be the perfect time to shop for your holiday goodies. Each day, Dana will have a guest designer on her blog sharing their holiday card ideas, just like I did here today, and there are over 20 designers joining in. Hopefully you will find something to inspire you and to create holiday cards this year for your friends and family. Follow the holiday series and make sure you leave comments on each of the designer posts or video for chances to win. Like I said, there will be multiple prizes up for grabs. Winners will be selected December 16th. The more comments you leave, the better your chances are of winning. Whether you're watching this on my channel or Dana's channel, make sure you leave a comment below, as it will give you double the chances to win, and I will be picking one winner to receive a box of goodies valued at over $100. So here are my finished shaker cards that I made with you today. Honestly, how easy were these to put together? Like I said, you can make these even more simple by using patterned paper or just having some pre-done backgrounds. I just love this idea, and I know I will be making more of these in the future. Here is my last card, which was actually the first card that I created using this technique that I had done off screen as a trial. Like always, I will have links to all the supplies I used in the video description below, as well as links to the written blog posts. If you love making shaker cards, I think you're going to love this idea, and I hope I've inspired you today to create some frameless shaker cards. Thank you all for stopping by and watching today. Please subscribe to this channel and leave a comment below for a chance to win. Also, hit that bell button for future videos. Here are some close-ups of the fun, finished, frameless shaker cards I created with you today. Wow, try saying that 3 times fast. So until next time everyone, happy crafting. Bye!